or we call it the purchase cycle, or you can call it P2P cycle. First, what is exactly this cycle? What are the steps in this cycle? The purchase cycle starts with a requirement of a particular raw material. This requirement may come from a sales order, it may come from your production team, it may be from they want to do some sample testing as they want a specific kind of raw material. At that time also they can raise a requirement. Once the requirement is raised, then they will raise purchase requisition. Then request for quotation, then quotation maintenance, then purchase order, goods receipt, then vendor invoice verification, at last the final outgoing payment to the bank. This is your particular cycle. From our perspective, from FI perspective, it is important from your purchase order, which is your ME21N. In purchase order, accounting entries are not recorded, but sometimes we give cost centers for the particular purchase order. The accounting entry starts from your goods receipt, which is called MIGO. At MIGO, we will have a posting, that is your inventory account debited to GRIR clearing account. What is GRIR clearing account? The importance I will explain. Then at the time of vendor invoice verification, GRIR clearing account debited to vendor account. And finally, when we make the payment, your vendor account is debited to your bank. So these four entries are which are very important from us. So we are going to do the configuration and see that all these entries are posted correctly and postings are happened. Now, before going to the posting entry, there are few important terminology which we need to understand. So there are few important things which is we need to understand from our MM perspective. First is your movement type. Movement type is the classification key indicating the type of material movement. For example, goods receipt or goods issue or any physical stock transfer. The movement type enables the system to find predefined posting rules determining how accounts in FI are posted and how the stocks which are material mastered are to be updated. The movement type, using the movement type, okay, the main two things which is very important. First, there are three important things are there which is very important. It controls the screen layout, adjustment of entries, and the GL account. Okay, so these three important things which is not only movement type determines the GL account, there are other factors also which determines your GL account. One of the factor is your movement type. Okay, so movement type have three important characteristics, that is control the screen layout, adjustment of inventories, GL accounts for financial partners. Okay, so there are different movement types are there based upon our requirement. We use this movement type. Okay, the movement type. Okay, so one entry will be debited, one entry will be credited. Okay, system based upon the movement type, system will determine the different entries. Okay, very commonly used movement type is 101. Okay, which is goods received on raw material against your purchase order, which you are going to do it in M21N, where inventory raw material is debited, GRIR account is credited. And for this movement type, the transaction key is BSX. Now, what is transaction key?
Kashi, I have a doubt here. Yeah. So this a movement type again depends upon my purchase order, or the
type of movement you are doing. Okay. Whether it's a goods receipt, whether a goods issue or physical stock transfer, what kind of transaction you are using. So predefined, the transaction is already attached to a specific movement type.
Okay. And accordingly, there are GL accounts. With the same company
Correct.
code, there can be different GL accounts that should get triggered.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So OBYC configuration is there. If under one company code we have one plant, then the configuration will be the same. But if under one company code we have multiple plants, then using your valuation grouping code and valuation area, we need to differentiate the
Okay. Okay. We will see that, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah, each one, once completely you will understand, then you will get an idea.
Okay, yeah.
Next is your transaction type or process key. Transaction key, process key are predefined in the system to enable transaction posting in inventory management and accounting. For each movement type in MM, there is a value string that stores the possible transaction. Like BSX, GBP, these WRX, PRD, these are very commonly used transaction keys. So what exactly it does? It enables the transaction posting in inventory management and in your accounting, while your goods received or invoice verification, okay, at this time it will determine which GL accounts to follow. So first, movement type. Second, transaction key. Here, movement type will determine which are the transaction keys to be triggered. Okay, movement type determines which transaction keys to be triggered. Then transaction key will be having the respective GL accounts. For example, when I do the 1001 movement type, that is your goods receipt of raw material against your purchase order. Okay, at that time the movement type is 101. Then your inventory raw material account is debited, GRIR account is credited. How it will be determined? Based upon the transaction key in BSX. Okay, so movement type determines the transaction key. Transaction key will have your GL account. So each kind of movement type, there are different transaction keys are there. Okay, so for example, for all GRIR clearing posting system, we determine WRX transaction key. So whenever there is any posting required to your GRIR clearing account, means that WRX transaction key is required. Okay, so based upon that, system determines when what movement type is first, which movement type will be triggered at the time of posting. What MIGO? If I'm doing a MIGO, that means your movement type is 101. So in the 101, the BSX and WRX, these two transaction key or process key to be triggered. And these two process key or transaction key will be having the GL account. Again, not only these two, again, there are few other things which will determine. Okay. Now, movement type, transaction key, one, two other factors will determine the GL account. Okay. Now, next important thing is your valuation class. Okay. Now, we group together different materials with similar properties into a valuation class, so that we do not have to manage a separate stock account for every material. So next important thing is your valuation class. So valuation class is updated in your material master data. So we group together different material with similar properties into one valuation class. For example, let's say I have finished goods which all are related to iron, and I want to have only one GL account for all those things. Then I will have one valuation class for iron, then I will assign to the material master. When I'm creating the material master, in the iron material master, in the iron finished product, I'll give the valuation class. Now, for example, let's say under iron also I have subcategorized. Okay, under iron, let's say I have heavy iron, light iron, and soft iron. Okay, now I want to give different GL accounts. Then we have to create different valuation class, and at the time of configuration, this OBYC configuration with the combination of valuation class and transaction key, I have to assign the GL account. Now, how the system will determine the material? At the time of posting, material, plant, company code, we have to give manually. System will, for example, I'm doing a purchase order, so I have to tell the system which purchase order I'm doing it. Okay, so let's say I have two, iron 1 and iron 2. Okay, so iron 1 have valuation class 1. Then this have valuation class 2. Okay, now I'm doing a movement type, that is a purchase order. Okay, so while entering the purchase order, I gave information. What are the information? Company code, plant, material. In the material master, I have valuation class. Okay, now movement type. Okay, at the movement type, these things are determined, and what else it determines? Your transaction key, your process key. These two things is determined. Okay, so in the movement type, your company code, plant, material. Okay, so from the material master, from your material master, which you enter manually, the valuation class is determined. Now, the transaction or process key is determined also from the movement type. Now, combination of valuation class and transaction type, the OBYC configuration will be there. Okay, I'm just showing that configuration. We will do in detail to just make you understand. I'm just showing that particular configuration. let's say inventory post. Take any old chart. So now, so my valuation class is there. This is, let's say, one for your raw material, one for finished good. So these two, okay, that is my one for your valuation class, okay, one for my, so one for your finished goods, one for my raw material I have maintained for area. Now in the BSX I have assigned. Okay, now system has determined the valuation class from where? From the material master. Now whether that particular entry has to be debit or credit, how system will determine? From your process key, that is transaction key. So with this combination, transaction and valuation class combination, I have maintained the GL accounts. So here one example, this is for raw material, this is for finished good. Now let's say I have a separate, let's say this is for iron 1. Now I want to maintain for iron 2, then I have to have another valuation class. Okay, let's say SA12, which I will maintain in my material master. Then for that specific GL account, I will update it. So whenever the movement type 101 happens, system will determine the transaction and process key, which has to be debit or credit. Then it will look for the valuation class in the material master. Then with the combination of your transaction key, valuation class, system will determine the which GL account to trigger.
So I have to maintain the account as well as a valuation class here for this transaction.
Always.
Okay.
Yes.
So
okay.
then
Valuation modification also we maintain. I'll explain. That is another scenario. I'll explain.
Okay. So then
first you understand first scenario, then I'll explain the next.
For all the different materials, if they're using this transaction, then there'll be a lot of entries then. Isn't it?
Lot many entries it will be. Because this is like we have created only one material, that's why we do not have.
No, I'm trying to understand.
If you see in your real time,
if
you see in your system, there will be lots of entry in that.
Correct. Okay.
Okay. Some companies I have seen they maintain couple of only. They want to see here so many are there. This is your one of the other one. So some companies what they do, they don't want to complicate it, they maintain few valuation class also. That is also possible.
Okay. So the grouping will be less. Okay.
Grouping will be less. Say they don't want to make it complicated. That is also possible. So not that it has to be. But in my experience, I've seen both. Where they have maintained the very less, where they have maintained a more number of materials.
Okay.
Okay. Clear on this? Because if you do not understand, next one you will not understand.
No, I got that. I think the transaction key, that will tell me whether I have to debit or credit, and the valuation class will tell me what is the GL account. Valuation.
From where the valuation class will trigger?
It is my material master. It will have it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Simple. People always they think it's very complicated, but this is one scenario. There are other scenarios are there. Okay, this is a very simple scenario. How now more complicated things, that also I'll explain.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, okay, what is your GRIR clearing? Now, GRIR, goods receipt invoice receipt, is one of the very important GL account. Without GRIR clearing account, we cannot implement your FIMM integration. Okay. Now, GRIR clearing account, what exactly it does? Okay. The GRIR account is the intermediary account between vendor invoice verification, goods received and vendor invoice verification. For example, let's say I'm doing a goods receipt. For 100 products. So what is happening? I'm receiving the goods. So inventory debit for 100. So GRIR clearing 100. Now invoice verification. GRIR clearing 100 debited to vendor. Sorry. So here first GRIR entry first got a credit, next got a debit. So everything is good. No balance is there. But let's say I have goods receipt I have done. Okay, inventory I have done for 100. GRIR I have done 100. Okay, but invoice I have done only for 90. That means I have not received the invoice for other 10 products. I have received the goods, but I have not received the invoice for only 90. I have not received for 100.
Yeah, so blocking happens, right?
So it can be, it depends upon the process. The standard process is, okay, either you raise another goods received for 10 product or invoice for 10 product, or you return the 10 goods. Okay, you receive the 10 goods, okay, and create a new invoice verification. You create a new PO, then the invoice. So first scenario where I have received less. If I received less, okay, goods I have received it. So at 10 goods I have to return it. Because my invoice is for 90, but goods received for 100. Or you raise another invoice for 10 product, total make it 100. Any question in this?
No, clear question.
For example, you have ordered for 100, but you have received 110. Okay, you have received the goods for 100, but the invoice you have written for 110. So what you will do? You will request for 10 additional goods to receive, or you will cancel this invoice. You will raise it for 100. Any question on this?
No, theory wise I got that, yeah, but how it should be done. Yeah.
Now, that's the thing. If I have received 90, so what I will do? I'll create another invoice for 10. I have received the goods for 100, but the invoice I have received for 90.
Yeah. This I
So I need to receive another 10 products invoice.
Yeah, I'll do a reference to the purchase order so I can use another
Correct.
10 material. Yeah.
So receive. Or what I will do? I'll return the 10 goods.
Okay.
Make it 90.
Okay. So
That is in the case of when I received less.
yeah.
When I received more, okay, what I will do? I can return the 10 goods, okay, 10 raw material, okay, or what I will do, I will create a new invoice for 110.
No, here I will cancel my invoice, or I will request for. Okay, I'll request a new invoice again. Cancel the existing.
Obviously.
Yeah.
You have to cancel it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Whenever there is a difference in your goods received or invoice verification, the balance will be updated in your GRIR clearing account. Okay, so if my goods received invoice verification is exact, then you need not to be worried. You need not do anything. If there is any variation, then you have to check your GRIR clearing account and make sure you take, if you have received goods more or invoice received more, accordingly you have to take the action. If the quantity received is larger than the quantity invoiced, then system expects further invoice for the purchase order to clear. If quantity received is larger than the, your quantity received is lesser than the quantity invoiced, the system accepts your another entry for your invoice. So whenever there is a quantity difference between goods received or invoice received, then your GRIR clearing account will be updated. Clear on GRIR clearing account?
Yes, Kashi.
Next is your valuation area. Valuation area, how it is. Okay, valuation area is nothing but the level at which you want to evaluate your material. SAP provides two options, either at your plant level or your company code level. Okay. Suppose you have two plants, one is Bangalore, one in Pune. Then you will be evaluate the material at plant level because you have got transportation cost and tax difference. That we do when we have a different plants. And if you do at company code level, so wherever your plant is there, that's not important. Wherever your company code is there, that is done. Most of the time, you do it valuation area at your plant level, not your company code level. Once you have fixed the valuation area, throughout the year, you cannot change it. You cannot modify the valuation area in the later period of time because all your material costing, everything already is done, and in between you cannot modify the valuation area. So it is very important to select the correct valuation area at the time of computation.
What exactly? Understand it is at two levels, but what exactly happens here? Like what value?
It evaluates your material.
Okay.
It evaluates your material. That's what valuation area does.
Like what class you should belong to, or what?
No, valuation. Say, for example, let's say I'm doing a valuation my material. For example, my vendor is Bangalore, my plant is Bangalore. Then my transportation cost is less.
Okay.
So my raw material cost is less.
Okay.
But if my vendor is Bangalore, my plant is in Chennai, then my raw material cost should be included by the transportation and tax.
Okay. Something like that. Okay, I got it.
So, valuation area determines which level it has to be evaluated. Either your plant level, either your company code level. If your plant and company code in the same place, we consider the company code, but it is always adjustable to consider at your plant. For example, in the future, you have multiple plants, then you need not to do much modification.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, clear.
Okay?
Yeah.
Any questions, anything?
Clear, guys.
Next is your valuation grouping code. Now, valuation grouping code indicates a grouping of valuation, a grouping of your valuation class. Now, in this, okay, let's say I have 2 plants, okay, and for each plant I want to have a separate grouping. I want to calculate different for one plant and another for another plant. Let's say I have plant 1, plant 2. Now, at plant 1, let's say I have iron. Okay, in plant 2 valuation classes, I have, let's say, for gold. Let's say gold 1, 2 product, gold 2. Now here again I have to maintain 2 valuation class. Okay, valuation G1, valuation. Now I have 2 different plants. Let's say plant 1 I have given a X grouping code, plant 2 Y. Now at the time of configuration, not only based upon the valuation class, okay, and BXX, that is your process key, I have to do the configuration. I have to configure based upon your plant, valuation class, and movement type. Then I have to consider 3 factors. Then I have to assign GL accounts, which I have done it in this configuration. Valuation modification, that is your grouping code, valuation class, and account. Now, for example, let's say I have another plant, then I'll maintain Y, then your valuation class for G1, okay, valuation class, let's say VA1 takes only 4 alphanumeric characters, then again Y, valuation class for G2, and their respective GL account. When it will happen? When I have under one company code different plants and I want different postings, different GL accounts plant-wise, then I require the valuation grouping code. Any question here?
No question, clear.
2 scenarios clear, where one company code
And
one company plant, one company code under her multiple plants.
Yeah.
Okay.
That will change my valuation modification. Yeah, clear.
Correct. Valuation grouping code will only valuation grouping code will be the additional feature.
Yeah.
we will have, and valuation grouping code will be determined based upon your plan.
Yeah.
Multiple plans, valuation grouping code. Then, valuation class. One more factor, one more thing. Valuation modifier. Okay, valuation class, everything done. Then your valuation modifier. Now, let's say again, I want to specify transaction-wise the GL accounts. Now I have specified only, in this example, we are going to take only one plan. Okay. So under one plan, I have selected the transaction. I have known from where a valuation class comes. Now, again, the general modifier. Under your GBB posting, okay, especially only GBB posting, we have different general modifier. This general modifier again segregates your transactions, okay, segregates your process key, or you can say the process key to different levels. Okay, for example, when I am doing a transaction GBP, under GBP I have 5 different general modifiers which we use. For each general modifier, a specific responsibility or specific activity is attached. It is not just that we assign a general modifier. For each general modifier, there are specific activities. Okay. So based upon that, for example, let's say I want everything to be posted to one GL account. Okay. Then in the rules, no need to select general modifier. So I have valuation modification, valuation class if you select, then your general modification option will not be triggered. Now we have triggered a general modifier, okay, especially for the transaction GBP. Okay, so what does this AUF, GUF, VAX does? It again segregates your transactions to different options, to your different categories. Okay, so those categories, AUF, all these things are. Without order. It's 1 minute, 1 minute. Hello.
Yeah, Tashi.
So this first AUF is for goods received for a sales order. Then VAX for goods issue sales order without account assignment object. VAY for goods issue for sales order with account assignment. ZOF is for goods received without production order. Then VBR for your internal goods issue. So again, I'm segregating the transaction, that is my process key, into different general modifier, so that the general modifier have an additional GL account. For example, let's say when I'm doing AUF, VAX, VAY, ZOF, I want to give one GL account, VBR one GL account based upon this example. Okay. Now, for example, I do not give general modifier option in the rule. Okay. Whenever I do these 4 transactions, these 5 transactions, and I am not giving general modifier, everything go to one GL account. But I want to give additional features or additional GL account. In this case, under GBB for AUF, that is for goods listed for order, I want to give a different GL account. VBR, that is for internal goods issue, I want to give a different GL account. Then I will be activate general modifier in the rules. If I do not activate here, I give valuation modification valuation class. Whenever I do these 4 transactions, 5 time of transaction, every time it will go to a one GL account only. So importance of general modifier, it segregates your GL account again into different categories. Any questions here?
No, Tashi.
Okay. So what is the first thing? What is the first tool? Movement. What is the first tool you understand? Company code, where we have one company code and one
Plant. Yeah.
So what is the first tool? What you will be doing there?
There I'll see my movement type. That will tell me
Correct.
what is my transaction key. It will tell whether it's
Process key.
yeah, or process key. It will tell me it's a debit or a credit. Then I will see my valuation class. That will
Valuation class from where it will be.
material master. So this
Correct.
combination will tell me what is the GL account I should use.
Where it is the combination with configuration?
OBYC. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
OBYC configuration.
And then
Then the second scenario, where I will be use valuation grouping code.
yeah, the valuation area, that is at the plant, mostly at the plant level, or it can be the
Correct.
company code level. So depending on plants, I can group them. If there are multiple plants, then I can have a GL account. The plant valuation class and the moment type combination.
Valuation grouping code.
Valuation grouping code, correct. Yeah.
So for each plant, I will be having a individual valuation grouping code.
Yeah. This X and Y. X.
So in our example, we have taken X and Y. So
Yeah.
based upon that, system will determine which grouping code to trigger.
Yeah. And the third is with this general modifier that tells us what kind of, from where it has come, whether it's a sales order or internal goods movement. So this combination will tell me what is the GL account. Yeah.
Correct. So why we use valuation grouping code? To specify additional rules, we can say.
Yeah.
You want to specify additional rules, you want to have additional rules, then we require this particular additional. Otherwise, it is not required. For example, actually, I have not seen any scenario where they give all to one. Normally, this VBR always they will give it to different GL accounts. At that time, your general modifier is used to segregate again into different.
GLX. Yeah. Clear, Kashi, clear.
Clear?
Yeah, yeah.
Completely, because if you understand this, that's it about all your FIMM integration.
Okay. I got saying that how they segregated. So probably I have to go to my project and see what have they done.
Yes.
How
So
they-
first when you look into your system, first find out how many valuation class they have.
Okay.
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 Then how many valuation grouping code.
Okay.
That is valuation modifier.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
General modification only for GBB will be there. Others it will be only your these two things will be there.
Okay. Okay. Got that. Yeah.
Okay.
So these are the only GL accounts then that will be used for my GRIR posting.
For GRIR clearing account, we have WRX configuration. I'll explain you. I
Okay.
have just given you overview for each kind of transaction. So normally we use first is your BSX. That is inventory posting. Any inventory posting, it will be happen in your BSX. Okay.
Okay.
Now, any kind of your offset entry for inventory posting is in your GBP.
Okay.
Any kind of GRIR clearing,
Mhm.
that is in your WRX.
Okay. So when I say GL account, so it is which GL account for which kind of posting?
So let's say in our example, you are going to show 101 movement time.
Yeah. Here also it will be okay.
So you are going to do the 101 movement time. For that, we will see the postage.
Yeah. Now what I was trying to understand is in my OBYC the GL account that I have put. So in this Migo it will be used for inventory. Which account it is?
Yes.
Inventory account or GRIR clearing account?
See, when MIGO is done,
Mm-hmm.
your inventory GRIR. So your BSX and WRX both will be used.
Okay. Okay.
So in the case of vendor invoice verification, your again WRX vendor anyhow you are giving manually. So
Yes. Yeah.
vendor is not required, need not to pick from anyone.
Okay. Okay. Got that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's do the configuration quickly.
Yeah.
This configuration, these plans, all these things normally we do not do. This is done purely by your consultant. But to show you the cycle, I will just do the configurations quickly
Okay.
and I will post the entry, then show you the transactions.
Okay.
First is create plant. So it's 10. VS01 plant for VS01 only, right? Our company code. Okay. Taking the same example as my company identifications. Then define the storage location. Which is defined under your plant. Then your purchase organization. Then the division. Then I will assign the plant to company code. So it's 8. Go to new entries, type your company code, type your plant, and save. Then I will assign the purchase organization to company code. Go to position, type your purchase organization, is the purchase organization. Assign purchase organization to plant. New entries, purchase organization, and your plant. Then assign the business area, okay, to your plant, valuation area and division. J7. Okay, plant, valuation area and new entries, plant, division. Exit now. Done. Technical group purchase the standard one. Now there is. Now this is another next configuration. This is something we always check. Okay, OMSY. Okay. Here normally the system's period, for which period it is allowed for posting, we need to update. So for example, if you want to see a period, we have MMRB, MMRP, but if you want to modify it, you want to open any previous period, then we do the configuration change here. Normally we never do, but while practicing, if you have any problem, then you do. So current period is your current fiscal period, which is your post date. 10. We have taken 7th period. We have taken V3, not the K4. So 7th period, and select allow backward posting. Okay. So this is something we check. Okay, allow backward posting. Now all this configuration is done by your technical, MM people.
Okay. Also, when we start with posting and everything, the period has to be open. So, is this the one that will be the
Another one is there. I'll show you. MMRB, MMRP.
Okay.
I'll show you.
Okay.
So at last again, I'll last, before doing the posting, I'll show you where that configuration.
Okay.
Okay. Then attributes of material type. So I'll create, I'll not use the standard one. So I'll copy from the standard one and I'll define my own. So the finished code is ROH. Someone has, I'll try to copy. Someone has changed it, the standard one. I copied it again, someone has changed. This material type will impact at the time of posting. Okay.
Okay.
Fine. I'll define one for raw material. So this is ROH for raw material. I'll copy it and I'll set it VAS RW, or say VAS R1 for raw material. So all the components are copied. Save. Select it. Double click on quantity and value posting update. Go to position and select quantity update value. This is for your raw material. Similarly, FERT normally used for your finished goods. Okay, so similarly select it, copy. Let's say I'm giving VESR2. So R1 raw material, R2 save. Again, double click on the material type, select the material type, double click on quantity value update, position 001, quantity update value. Then I'll maintain the plant parameters. Which is not a benefit, it doesn't have any keyboard. Management. So again, I'll copy it. Since every time I'll change it to standard one, they will. Because what happens if you do not have the standard configuration?
Yeah.
When you do the postings, you will get entry or error. Okay, so I'll copy it from the 1000. Then default entry for the tax code, I'll make it as a 0%, but before that, let me see. The sales tax, purchase tax. The tax procedure which will define that is there or not in the country level configuration. Default value for the tax code /NOM new entries. So you need not to worry any of this configuration. Okay, remember these you don't do at all. This completely done by your P2P people.
Okay.
None of this configuration we do. Our responsibility is to create the GL account and in OBYC assign the GL account. And while assigning, we don't do alone. We completely stick with your MM people. So manual one by one we discuss, then we do it because they have to tell us the valuation class, valuation grouping code, everything in detail.
Okay. Yeah.
So next is for tolerance limit for purchase order for price variance. Okay. And then for purchasing, purchase order, set tolerance limit for price variance. Okay. So price variation purchasing matched as this section. These two are required. Okay. One minute. So this is for tolerance limit for the purchase order variance. Similarly, tolerance limit for goods received. For B1, B2, and B3. Goods received tolerance for invoice verification also. That is for only parts. Required for this. Now, the valuation grouping code. In our scenario, we have only one plant, so I will be defining only one valuation grouping code. But if you have a multiple, then you have to assign a multiple valuation grouping code. You see, I have only one valuation area, that is your plant, against to my company code.
Yeah.
So I will be having only. If I have multiple here, automatically multiple plants will appear. You have to define separate valuation group, because sometimes we use the same grouping code also.
Okay.
We have sometimes you have the same grouping code because they want the same GL account to be used. Even they have a separate plant, they want to use the same at that time, same valuation grouping code. So normally use X, Y, Z, but it take any identification. Okay, as per our requirement. 001, 002 also you take. So it depends upon. It takes 4 alphanumeric characters. Now I will define the valuation class. Define in the sense I will copy from the standard one. /NOMS. One for raw material, one for finished. Okay, for one is your 3000. That is for your raw material. I'll copy from that. Okay, GSR1. Then another one, this is 7920. I'll copy from 7920. That is for your finished goods. Okay. Now I'll create GL accounts. First is one for raw material, one for finished goods. Those are my assets. Okay. This. Automatically. Similarly for your profit. Finished. Then your GRIR clearing account, which is your liabilities. And it will be always open item. If you do not do open item, this functionality will not work. Remember, here it has to be open, here it has to be clear. So to work this functionality, it has to be defined as a open item management. Let us select the open item management. Okay. In the tax category, give a star. That means all kind of tax it will accept. Otherwise, each, because we cannot assign all the tax category, we cannot give all the tax code. So it should accept all the tax categories. So we give a star. Then your raw material consumption account. This is my expenses. Fine. Only that is field status code. It will be G003. Material consumption. Draft your increase and decrease in stock. It should be always your, actually we have a separate group, okay, where we have all the raw material consumption, all these accounts are updated, but remember it has to be your P&L, it cannot be your balance sheet. G030. The now I will assign it for automatic. First, for your inventory posting. Chart of account. I'll select only valuation modifier, valuation class. Okay. Valuation modifier here also it's not required because we have only one plant. Okay, but I'll just do it. Raw material. Okay. The finished good is not required to maintain because you are going to deal with the raw material. Then WRX before that, okay, WRX will do it, then GDP, GRIR clearing account, valuation modifier valuation class, X, this account, and my GRIR clearing account is 1007. Then class keyword. Here I'll select. If I do not select general modification, then every time when I do the posting, it will go to the same account. So VBR valuation class for your VBR is for internal goods issue. So
Kashi, here this offsetting entry for inventory posting. This is only like say when I'm doing when there is a difference in the material that I'm invoicing for. So that to offset that, say if there were 100 and I created invoice only for 50. Huh? Hello.
Hello?
Yeah.
No. This is for offsetting entry. Whenever you do internal goods issue or goods received for an order, goods received without production order, okay? Apart from your this Migo Miro, there are other transactions also are there.
Okay.
For those, we require this.
Okay.
There's a different movement types happen.
Okay.
So different movement types it is required. So to offset that entry, we require this.
Okay.
It's not for your difference. Offsetting entry is for offset entry for that particular post. So VBR internal goods issue. So that is means I'm using for raw material for production purpose or something. So purpose X, then AUF, then your USR2. This is AUF for goods received for order. That is increasing stock. X. ZOF goods received without production order. VAY, that is for goods issued for sales order without account assignment. X, then this is for with account. So VAY is with account assignment, VAX is without. Now I'll maintain the document type. We require 49, 50, 51. That is for WEWARE. RE, goods invoice received, number range is 51. Then WA is for goods issue 49. WE 50. So 49, 50, 55. Now I'll create a vendor not in FK01. Okay, I'll create it in XK01 central. Or if you want to do only for purchasing, we have
Um, Here I wanted to know, Kashi, like we have some test cases saying that create vendor master. So, so when it is for us, from our to our perspective, we have to fill only those fields which are there for FK01, like the accounting and all
okay,
those.
FK01 in the sense we need not to give purchasing order and others.
Yeah, yeah. So it will be only the
Only
payment
have to give the
terms,
company code
pay,
and account group.
account group, yeah.
But when I'm creating for purchasing, then you have to give the purchasing organization also.
Okay. And this account group will not be displayed in my FKG, like normally I have to go to
No,
the table level.
you have to select that.
Yeah, no, once I create it, I'll not be able to see that, isn't it? Account group. I'll
Yes,
have,
you can see. See, here you have to go to the Dropbox. Here you can see the group.
honey, once I create, if I go to FK03 display, so it will not be there then, isn't it?
Why it will not be there?
Okay. Okay, let me have a look once it's it.
No, you are not clear what you are trying to ask.
No, what I wanted to know is that we have different types of vendors that we have to create. So that will be depending on my account group. So,
Correct.
so for me to know how many types are there, so I was just trying to display to FK03.
Oh, how many types of account groups are there?
Ha, yes. So,
You cannot know. It has to be checked in OBD3. So how many groups are there? They have to tell you.
they have to tell, okay.
Because for each company code, they might be using different account group.
Oh, okay. It may
For
not.
example, let's say in one company code, I have only domestic international.
Uh-huh.
No, you cannot find out. They have to inform you.
Okay. Okay. To
Because
take.
account group is a client level configuration.
Yeah. So each company codes will have different account groups, you're telling me. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. The tables that I was asking for, and that I don't know the standard table, I forgot the name, but if I go there for the vendor, uh, it will not help me. That may not be good for me.
No. So now how, see for example, okay, you want to know one vendor is which account group.
Yeah, that I'll get to know. But how many types are there, I will not get to know. Yeah. There's no filter.
That you cannot say that. They
Okay.
have to tell you.
Okay, okay.
They have to tell you that which company code is using which account group.
Okay, fine.
Because account group is defined at your client level, right?
Yes, yes. Okay.
So it is not defined at your what you call company code level. It is defined at your client level. That means I can use it for any
Company codes, yeah.
company code.
Yeah.
So which company code they are using, they have to inform. We cannot find out.
Okay.
reconciliations account. I have deleted everything. Now here, when I'm extending the vendor, here important. In this particular tab, you have to click the order currency and you have to select GR based invoice verification. These two are minimum. If you do not do this, then system consider this vendor as your finance vendor, not your material management or P2P vendor. For that, we have to select order currency and GR based invoice verifications. Then okay, now I'll create the material master. Where all these things we don't do this to finish up our process. So industry, let's say I'm selecting engineering. My raw material. And enter. Now it will ask which are the views, which are the tab you want to see, which are the tabs which is required. For us, basic data 1, purchasing, general and plant storage 1, then accounting 1. These are organization levels, then plant, storage location, and okay. So article numbering so and so. Let's say this is my item. Base unit measure in kilos. Material group, I'm using the standard material group. Then go to purchasing. Okay. Where are we? Purchasing. So normally if you get this to the standard one, we can create apps. Okay. So remember all these things completely done by your P2P, did not to worry. And the plant storage. Then accounting. Here you have very important, that is your valuation class. So BSR1 is for your raw material. Now price control. There are two price controls. One is standard, one is big. If I give the standard, whatever the standard price I give, system will consider that. Now, if I give moving price, so what system will do? Total number of stocks will be considered. Total amount divided by total stock. Whatever the price, system will calculate that particular price. Total amount divided by total stock. Then system will calculate your price. So standard price, moving price will.
This moving price, so we will not. We have to give it.
Normally we do not give.
Okay.
We do not give. So it will consider total amount of goods and the total amount of the stock divided by total goods, raw material.
Okay. Okay.
Then system will.
Okay. And the standard
That
price
is one of the things.
Okay. Standard price usually comes from the product costing, isn't it?
No, we use price control both standard and moving both. There are lot many uses are there in product costing. Okay, you use the standard price, you use the moving price both.
Okay.
Okay, it's not that always use the standard price, no. That will be completely incorrect. We use both standard and moving price. Depends upon the scenario.
Oh, okay.
And now you are asking like where to check the period. Okay, to check the period /n MMPV, sorry MMRV is the give the company code, it will show which is the current period, which is the now if it is closed and you want to open it, then /n MMPV is the key code. Give the company code, period which you want to close, fiscal year, check and close period, and close it. Now I will not close because we need to do the posting. Then what the system will do, for example, here I give 7th period. Then by default, system will close the 7th period and it will open the 8th period. So MMPV, where we can see which period is open. MMRV, we can close the period. That means whatever that period will give, that period will be closed. The next period system will open.
Automatically.
Automatically. Now all the configurations are done. Let's post the purchase order. So in the purchase order, no accounting entry will be posted. Only in goods receipt invoice. Vendor number. Go to other information. Success group. Expense. Okay. Go for item overview. Item 1. Raw material. Quantity 10, delivery date, then the plant, and enter. So I'll keep that account assignment. Okay, someone in that particular material they have made account assignment is mandatory. So which cost center? I'll give one cost center. Change the standard. I have to enter it now. $30013 GL account cannot be used. What's the problem in that GL account? Let's see. Post automatically only is not. Okay. So again, I'll have the entry because message. They have made it cost account assignment as a mandatory, but cost center field is they have given as a option.
Okay. So you can give internal
Let
order.
me try to create it as a let me make it as enterprise cost element. Probably this is- Normally cost account assignment category, it is not a mandatory field. Configurations. So we'll create another material. This method will also be made it
cost center.
change all the, I mean, they have maintained so many groups, we cannot put the animation. Okay, we'll do one thing. We just have a 10-minute break.
Yeah.
So meanwhile, let me check with my friend who is MM consultant. I forgot the T code.
Okay.
I'll change, there should be a configuration where we'll make cost center as a mandatory required field.
Okay. Okay.
So we'll have this, meanwhile we'll have a 10-minute break and we'll come back, then we'll come.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, let's say not 10 minutes, 20 minutes. I'll finish up my lunch also. Then
Okay.
we'll continue.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. You
Yeah.
stop recording.
Yeah.
You copy paste the recording to another folder.
Yeah.
Then you can start a presentation.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. With the payment terms. One. And create another material. Number. Date. Net price. Okay. No error message. Now before posting, okay, click on check. So check message is, that means if any error message is there, check message will help you to find out what is the message. As of now, if I click on check, it says no message. That means everything is good. So now,
Yeah. So the account assignment we have removed it. It is optional now.
I created with another material, so account assignment is now optional.
Okay. And the GL account that was coming up in the account assignment tab, how is that relation? That is from that OBS1?
OBYC configuration.
OBYC, yeah. Okay.
So now PO is created. Okay. Now I'll do the yet not released. Actually, these things are not required, but someone has activated, that's why.
Do we have to change something in status field in purchase order?
No, that is everything is fine. That material which is mentioned that given a release strategy process.
Okay. So many people have to approve it.
That's why many people have to do it. It's interesting. Okay. I'll just show you for another company code. Okay.
Okay.
Is it fine? Okay. I think that company code again not many issues, so I'll just post an entry for another company code. Okay. So I'm taking a company code SA10 which I've defined earlier. Okay. So I've created a material for that and I'm doing the ME21. So no issues with the okay. PO is posted. Now, so when I do the Vigo, automatically from the purchase order, all the details will be populated. And the moment that you see, 100 and fine. Then check the where it wants to deliver. So sometimes this where will not be updated. So give the storage location. Now before saving it, click on item OK. Delivery notes is not mandatory, and click on check. So check will help you to find out if is there any error messages. Now if you see the posting is possible because earlier I have created this company long back, and period is not open. So I have to go to MMRB, check the period which is open. So 5th period is open. So now how to close the 6th period, 5th and 6th period. Then currently the 7th period will be open. So go to MMPB, then first the 5th period. Okay. So now we'll see what is the period it's showing. Currently it is showing still 5th. Then 6th period. Okay. Now current period will show 6th. So 5th is closed, 6th is open. Now I have to open the 7th period because this is 7th period. The 7th period. Before that, done. Okay, again, see if it will allow or check. Okay.
So you need to give, if you want to close period 6, you need to give period 7, so that 7 will be current and 6 will close.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. Now, post. Someone is here. Switch on the debug. Now, material document is posted. Okay, this is the material document. So click on the accounting documents. So I'm given the 2000, but posting happened for 18,000. That's why GR is showing 20,000 is a difference. So I have done more. Now here, why this profit center is coming? This is another important question. I have not given the profit center, but why is dummy is coming?
That's, if nothing, no profit center is given, I think dummy will be assigned with it.
Because that is a default profit center.
Default, yeah.
Okay. Now, the class the
Actually, I think I'm so sorry. I missed that the price difference. I think if you can.
So the raw material I have given the goods value as at 200. 100 and I have entered for 20. Okay, but in the I have given 20,000 in the ME21A.
Okay.
So there is a difference of 18,000. Raw material cost I have given as 2,000.
Okay.
200 is my raw material cost. Okay, I have given 10 products.
Okay.
So that should be 2,000.
Yes.
But I have entered 20,000.
Okay, in the invoice,
In PO.
PO. Okay.
So there is a difference of 18,000. Got it?
Yeah. If I can see that material where you had given 200. Okay.
So here, given 2,000. Okay. So 2,000 multiplied
For
10
10.
kilos.
Okay. So my purchase
That's
order has
20,000.
20,000. Fine. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Standard price is
200.
how much? 200.
Yeah.
So it should be 2,000.
Okay. 200 into 10.
2,000. But how much I have entered here? I have entered 2,000 here. So 2,000 to 10, 20,000.
Okay.
So it should be 2,000 actually.
Correct.
Here I should have given 200.
Correct. I got that. Okay.
It should be 200.
Okay.
Here I have given 2,000. That's why there is a difference of 18,000.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So now I'll do the Miro final step, where after doing Miro only your vendor account will be get updated. Okay, give the invoice date, amount, 20,000. So simulate. Okay, so this is the vendor account is GRI. Okay, it may the tax codes. Let me throw a warning message, please. What? Okay, PO have taken the same tax. Okay, so display all on documents. So vendor account. Okay, so go to XBPN. Second. Vendor account is not updated. Just log off and log in. That's it. It is not refreshing. Not posting. That's right. Someone has deleted the number range.
Okay.
That's why did system allow to post? Should not. Okay, I copied from the existing one. That's why. Okay. Actually, this is because of IDEA server. It allowed while creating the posting, but it will not allow at the time of posting itself.
Okay.
Okay, because the number range is not there. How did it allow when it should not allow?
It's already created vendor, I think that's why.
No, vendor is already created,
Yeah.
but it's not there now.
Yeah, because the number
range itself is not there.
Yeah.
So it should not allow at the time of posting. It's because of IDEA server it is allowing, otherwise it will not.
Okay.
But the final entry will be this one, 31, that is your credit vendor, and
Yeah.
debit your GRI.
That's for 20,000.
So,
yeah.
yes. So, then when we make the payment, okay, vendor account will be debited, bank account will be credited,
Yeah.
so vendor will be 0.
Yeah, that is by F-28 or something.
It will be,
Yeah.
that closes your complete P2P cycle, because it's not creation of invoice, remember it's payment. Till the payment happens, okay, till that your P2P report, P2P process completes. After the payment only. So payment can be your manual or check, IDOC, APP process, you can follow any of the process to make that. accounting entry perspective, remember, okay, these three are important. Okay. Now, in the account assignment also, GL does not trigger. There is some mistake they have done it. Okay. Only the cost centers get triggered, not the GL account.
Okay, but even in our like when I was seeing our purchase orders, the GL account used to automatically be there. It used to come there.
No. You see that entry will not be there.
What is it?
It will be there in your cost center.
Through, yeah. Okay.
Okay. So that material consumption entry, that is for the cost center.
Not GL account. Yeah, only the posting should go to.
Posting
Yeah.
will be there.
Okay. So this Migo step is part of FI or it's part of?
No, nothing is part of FI. Till payments. Payments is your part of FI.
No, like invoice creation we have to do, right? Like we have scenarios. No.
No, we don't do.
Like if
Nothing
you,
as
yeah.
no, we don't do. It for testing purpose we do, but that is not done by accounts payable team. That is done by your P2P team.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay.
Just my test.
Only accounts payable. Yes, accounts payable team come into the picture only. There is an open item. They have to bring the open item.
Okay.
Till that time, you are not responsible.
And also, Kashi, how can I make duplicate payments or duplicate? How is that possible? Because when I have an invoice, then I make a payment, so and I clear it. How can I make a duplicate payment or something?
Why you want to make a duplicate payment?
No, there was a scenario in our those test cases, so it says.
No, that's the thing. Based upon that, whether the earlier payment is cancelled, because of that you want to make a payment, or the same entry you want to make a payment twice.
Yeah, same entry twice, like same invoice. Can you
Why?
make?
Why? How can? The invoice is cleared.
Yeah, you can't.
Payment vendor is credited, it cannot.
Yeah.
If you reverse it, yes, then you can make a payment again. For example, let's say this particular entry is paid.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, for example, if I want to open this again, then only I can make a payment.
Okay. Use the resetting the cleared items.
FBRI, yes.
Okay. But that is not a duplicate payment, isn't it? That is.
No. That is not duplicate payment.
It is that I'm reversing.
Yes, reversing it, then only.
Okay.
So why you make a duplicate payment? That's I don't think so. That is, I think you might have misheard or something else. They might to try to communicate.
Misunderstood. That's okay.
Okay, now you can make a payment on this.
Yeah, because it is okay. Okay.
Now let's see the reports. Reports and then here. So that's only the left. Okay. So let's see the report, then I'll go to month end. In the reports, first these two only configuration. First one. Rest all are like using the T codes. For example, if I want to view a trial balance. One GL account, okay, full range. Okay. Should we show each account balance. Okay. So all the T codes you can try. But the first one, financial statement version, there is some configuration. Okay. Before going to the financial statement version, what I will do, I'll create one GL account that is for return earnings. So one return earnings account, open item management is required. Next, assign it to your return earnings account configuration.
Why is retained earnings in liabilities?
Why not liability?
I don't know.
Return earnings account helps you to the transfer of the balance of P&L to liability. If it is a profit, it will add to the capital. If it is a loss, it will deduct from the capital.
Okay.
So return earnings account is the liability. Here you assign the GL account. Now I'll prepare the balance sheet statement. Go to new entries. I'm giving the same name. Financial statement. Maintain language English. Click on financial statement items. Yes. Okay. Select, or you can select the same one, or I can create my own items. Let's say assets, because I have only 4 groups. Liabilities, income, expenses. Select the asset, click on assign accounts. Then go to your OBD4 configuration where you have given the range. Okay, asset range is 1 to 9. Select debit. Liability is 1, all zeros to 1. Similarly, income. This is only liability, assets. Okay, this is only assets. Then select liabilities, assign accounts. Income, and your expenses. right? Okay. Now, see, remember, financial statement version is a configuration. Okay, the report is your not a configuration, it's a standard view display items. This is your chart account, the range, company code. Then just now have picked up the financial statement, that's why it is picked. Otherwise, whichever you want. Okay, reporting here, comparison here. Okay, then if you want a specific business area wise, specific business area wise, or lecture wise also. Okay. We never use the standard report. It is given, but we never use it. We use more of customized reports.
Okay.
Because standard report is good, but we prefer more of customized report, which gives more clarity. Okay, but this is your
No, this is mainly to compare the 2 years. What is the
yes. Comparing last year, this is the this is correct.
because I say it's better live.
So rest all reports you can, it's like standard report, you can execute it. Trial by balance, vendor list, okay. So nothing configurations to try each report. For example, vendor reports. No vendor report. Okay. Most of your enhancement happens based upon this report. Okay. We use this report, we enhance it something based upon what report. Okay, because already something is there, better to use that in spite of creating from the scratch. So we always use these reports very frequently. So try all these reports, it's nothing big, much to that. Okay, so just executing this. Now come to the closings. What are the important activity we check in the closing? Okay. Just give me 1 minute, I'll just drink some water and come.
Okay.
Understand?
Yeah, Kashi. There.
Now these are standard month-end and year-end report, but apart from that, based upon to the company, there will be others also. Okay. So standard one, first is your period. So which we know that every month end, now while for the testing purpose, like while learning purpose, we have period for whole 1 year, but we always the open period for current month. Rest all we close it. We do not open it. So every month end, the last date or start first day of the period, you have to open the individual. This is one of the month end activity. Next is your number range. Every month end, you have to check the usage of the number range. This actually activity we do month end and year end also. What do we do? We check how many current documents are there. What is the current document and how many documents are left. Whether enough document is there for the next month or not. If not, then what to do? For example, let's say for essay I have given 01. So what I will do, I'll create a new number range. Okay, number which is not used. Let's say A1. I have not used anyone. And I'll create a new range, the existing range. A1 I created, then go back to the essay document type. Change it 01 to A1. That means whenever system posts FDAS02, it will pick the number range from A1 now onwards. Now people sometimes ask why A1? Okay, we can give anything. Why cannot extend it to 01? That also sometimes we do, but that is not suggestible, because if it is already a number range is used, you have to delete it, then use it. That is not suggestible. Or if you want to extend also, for example, already 01 is there, I'll try to give again 01. Then system will not accept it. It will throw a 1. Error message, not 1. It will not accept. This activity we do both month end and year end. Okay? Any question in the number range, because number range is important.
No question.
Then recurring document, interest calculation, depreciation. These three are your another important. You have to say that these activities are done if there is a process. And you have to monitor these ones. Your recurring document, interest calculation run, and the depreciation run. Most of the time depreciation run, okay, and recurring, we schedule it with the help of a above consultant. We schedule it. That means no one need to run manually. System will run it automatically. That is like a very standard process. Every company uses that. We schedule it. We only just send a log to the user saying that these many postings are already happened.
There was a T-code ASKB that was used for run periodic posting.
No, I'll come to that. That is separate. I'll explain.
Okay.
Asset accounting period, there are around 3-4 activities are there. I'll take you that.
Okay.
Okay. ABST, sorry, AJW, AJR1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll just explain. After this, I'll explain the asset account.
Okay.
Now, coming to the year-end activities, first fiscal year. So, anyhow, we do not change the fiscal year. So, we need to check the correct fiscal year is assigned. Open and close posting period. Number range, if you want to extend it from one year to another. So company code, give the range. Normally what we do, okay, source 2014, 2013. Normally what we do here, go to select range 0, 1 to 99, okay, A1 to Z9, 1A to 9. So everything will be copied and execute.
Okay, the number ranges that we used earlier for each month where we were extending the numbers, so the same that the
Yes.
that term has to be used at A1, A2. Okay,
Correct.
copied.
So all up. Now another T code is not a month-end activity, but if you want to copy from one company to another company code, okay, the number range. So here we have an option. Okay, but remember the target company code should not have any number range. For example, if it is have any number range, system will not copy. It will say already exists, cannot copy. Next is your carry forward. GL carry forward F.16. Okay. Now select balances written earnings, company code and execute. No accounts has been found. Okay. Someone change the ledgers then. Okay, sorry. Carry forward to 2015. Okay. So if you see here, return earnings account, it will show you the total transaction balance. Okay. For that, I'm just doing a test run. Okay, because once okay, in the future, if you have any doubts, you'll have to use this company code as your reference. So if I do that, then you will not be able to do anything. So balance sheet accounts, this is all your balance sheet. Okay, if you want to change the layout also, you can. Oh, there's nothing much. The fields. No additional fields are here. So these are the fields. Then you got return earnings. Return earnings account in the sense all your P&L transactions. All these are requisite P&L accounts.
Okay, and that is my
Return earning accounts.
yeah. Balance sheet are my
This is
asset and
your-
liabilities.
Yes, correct. No, income and expenses, only P&L.
Yeah, here retained earnings. So
Yes. This is balance sheet.
okay.
P&L, return earnings means only P&L. Balance of your P&L.
Yeah.
Next, your similarly customer vendor also. Okay. Select the company code, the customer. Okay. So what are the balances are there? It will help. Okay.
And
We want to vendor.
yeah.
Vendor means we select the vendor. I'm doing only test run, okay? I'm not in that. Yes, you were asking.
Yeah. So when we were just asking, saying the team over here saying that what was the month-end activities for the all these accounts receivable, account payables. They said comparing the subledger with the GL account. So how do we do that?
Comparing the GL,
Comparing the subledger accounts with the GL accounts. They said so.
so you have to take all the balances of your reconciliation account and customer vendor, and you have to reconcile it
Okay, how is that?
manually. You have to download the report, whatever the okay. So account receivable is one recon account, that is your subledger, sorry, your reconciliation account. Then you have to take FBL 5N, all report, and the balances. So total open items for each customer, if you add, it will be matching with the total open items of okay. So whatever the balance is there. Similarly, total transactions, total transaction amount, however is there, whatever is there, total customer. So each customer balances you have to add, and you have to make sure that it is matching with your total balance. So open item and your cleared items balance. Similarly, for your vendor, accounts payable balances you have to take, all the vendors balances you have to take, and you have to make sure you have to add, because the FPL 5N or 1N, you will get individual transactions. So you have to take all the reports, all the dates, all the amounts, and you have to make sure that it is updating here properly. FPL amount is updated.
Okay, can I use FBL 10N, which shows that total amount?
FS 10N,
F10N,
yeah, FD 10N.
FBL, I think. Okay, okay, done.
But that gives you monthly report, right? Not your. Okay, cumulative balance 1140106. Now it's picking only one vendor or not. Okay, here let's see 1140 account receivable. Similarly, your closed items. Okay, in this case, closed item, open items are same. No, it's showing the total balance. So cleared is 0. So 111406, 11406. That's the balance. But we don't use, I don't remember that we use, we you download it, we manually check it. There's the Excel tool they upload it, they reconcile it one by one.
Okay.
That's the Any other questions?
No, not that.
Now, your asset accounting year-end activity. So ABST T2. Okay. So this is for your account reconciliations. Okay. So this transaction reconciles balance between asset account determination in AM module with the corresponding GL account, okay, in general ledger. So the report must be run in the year end. So what are the scenario? Balance sheet account APC, balance sheet account for down payment, value adjustment, ordinary depreciation, value adjustment of unplanned depreciations. Okay. So you give your company code. No, I'll just show you. Okay. Background, it is executed in your background. Okay. IDEA server hideout, but we will try.
Okay.
So in the IDEA server, I believe, immediate your process, job is scheduled. It didn't run. None of the spool is generated. Okay. Spool is not generated, that means it did not run successfully. It will not work actually. Okay. But this is one of the month-end activity. So what are the 4 reasons we do it? We do it for your balance sheet account for FTC, balance sheet account for down payments, and for the value of this for ordinary and unplanned payments. So this is one year-end activity. Next is your AJAB. So this is for closing. Okay. The program is used to close the asset accounting model for a fiscal year from accounting perspective. Once the fiscal year is closed, no posting or changes to the values can be done. Okay. So last year of normally the account is closed last year, you cannot close the current fiscal year until all depreciations are. This one also will not work in your IDA server. Okay, but I'll try. No postings will, nothing will happen. Okay. Class. So you have to execute it. You can try this company code. What you can do, you execute till 12th period. Probably after that it may work.
Okay.
Okay. Only 6 period of work now, so till 12th period you execute it. And the fiscal year change. This is another important. So a fiscal year change in asset accounting is the opening of new fiscal year. At the fiscal year change, the asset value from the previous year are carried out to into the new fiscal year. This is also, I doubt it will not work. It means the depreciation is not closed off. it will not work. I know. Okay, it's showing green, but it is 0. Nothing is there.
Yeah.
Okay, everything is. So these are another 3 important activities which you have to do from your asset accounting course. Okay, so I'll send you these documents. Okay,
Yeah.
these 3 documents you can follow it. Okay, and this formatting of error message, anything, okay, probably when you are practicing, you just select format and give the LP01. Then it will work. Okay, you need not to do, because this is for a specific project like top job people are given, okay, where they have set a printer to the server. So in this ID server, printer nothing is set, so it will not get this. This is it. I think this is it. And so all the topics are covered.
Okay.
So practice, and I spoke to Murli
Yeah.
about your